bequeath the jury the above entitled action. Find the defendant, Rakeem Mayers, not guilty of...
Welcome back to GMA3. That emotional moment, A$AP Rocky leaping into the arms of his partner Rihanna as a jury found him not guilty of firing a gun at his former friend. Rocky was facing 24 years behind bars for 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. Joining us now are ABC News contributor Mike Muse and ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmire. Thank you both for being with us. Okay, so our reporters in the courtroom told us that Rocky actually spoke to the jurors as they were leaving the room, saying, "Thank y'all for saving my life. You're making the right decision." Brian, why do you think the jury came to that conclusion?
So, Eva, I think for the jury, the difficulty here was trying to prove whether or not this gun was real, a gun that no one could provide. And ultimately, it's the prosecution's job to do so. And so I think having this case rest upon A$AP Rocky, his credibility, the lack of the gun, the forensic that was found by him and not law enforcement, those shell casings, ultimately led a jury to just under 4 hours coming with this not guilty verdict.
So A$AP Rocky from day one has said he was innocent. They tried to give him a plea deal for a very minimal amount of jail time. He turned it down, went forward with this trial. Mike, talk about the gamble that he took here.
Eve, I love how you read that. And he said, "Thanks to the jury for saving my life." And just looking at that B-roll, you can feel the moment. You can feel the tension. You could feel what was at stake for him. Talk about betting on your innocence. Talk about betting on what was right for you. A$AP Rocky, in order to turn down such a plea deal, had to innately know that he was innocent. But just because you go to trial doesn't mean you're going to get a fair trial. It's still a gamble. It's still up to the jurors to understand who you are in context of that. And what was at risk for A$AP Rocky is his return to the pop cultural scene. We haven't heard music from Rocky in over 10 years. He has a new Muse album coming out. We haven't seen Rocky headline a music festival. He's headlining that. And of course, he's headlining the Met Gala as one of the co-chairs with that. And he also too has a big movie coming out with Spike Lee. So we're really seeing A$AP Rocky really be transformative within his career. And also what's at stake, Eva, is he's a father, right? What was at stake was him leaving his 2 children behind and him leaving his partner behind. So that was so much at stake. So I love how you encapsulated that with that statement, thanking the jury.
Brian, we got to talk about the partner, the children. Rihanna had the 2 kids in court some days. How much do you think that impacted what happened here?
I think it does have some influence both on A$AP Rocky's decision to go to trial as well as potentially the jury. Having that in the back of jurors' minds, and we know, I believe it was 7 women and 5 men who are on this case, look at this and say, you know what? The injuries that A$AP Rocky suggested happened from a gun, the violence that happened between them back and forth that they can see both in videos as well as through the testimony of A$AP Rocky's witnesses that took the stand. I don't think there was enough here, and I think they felt comfortable enough because they didn't ask for any readback of any testimony. They didn't ask for any evidence. They just took that up to 4 hours and said, you know what, this is not guilty. And to piggyback off of what you and Mike are saying, and what I often tell my clients as well, there's a very big risk here. When you're looking at just going to jail for 6 months, when you have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I think A$AP Rocky and I are about the same age, and we have a child about the same age, he could have missed a lot in that child's life if he did not end up with this victory that he had. So I think a lot went into his decision as well as the jury's.
Mike, for you, culturally watching it all and this all playing out, what do you think is next for them?
I think what is next is they really focus on the foundation of their family, and they really focus on the foundation of what's next in their trajectory. But for me, Eva, this is a case study. You know, I advocate so often in terms of really paying attention to judges, and as we elect judges. Judges have the most critical role. For me, is always jury instructions. And Eva, if you think about what that judge told the jury, is that you can consider self-defense as a way of being not guilty. And particularly when we heard A$AP 12's witness to give his testimony, he said that A$AP Rocky was the aggressor. And so that possibly could have played a huge role in this. And then so for me, it says to the American public the importance of serving on jury duty, the importance of having jurors who understand cultural competencies. And so when you do get that jury notice, to sign up and to go. Don't try and get out of it. Because as you just beautifully stated, lives are at stake. And we see that emotion emotion from that. So for me, it's bigger than Rocky. It's bigger than Rihanna. This is about the American judicial system and our right that we have constitutionally to make it fair and to make it balanced when we have the right judges and the right jury listening to the case appropriately.
And those jurors, you have to give it to them. 3 weeks out of work. You know, they're all sitting there for those 3 weeks of that trial. Thank you guys both for being here so much. Mike Muse, Brian Buckmire, we appreciate you.